Chill, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Denali, aka Don Squally. Man, starting out in this gangster super sport. As always, we are back with another request video, man. Just taking them requests 7 days a week. Our bike build that we uploaded yesterday, I believe last Sunday at noon, went off great, so we will be doing more of those. Go check that out if you guys haven't already. But today we are back with our usual Forza Horizon 3 builds, and we're going to kick this one off with a request for a nice classic build, man. This one's coming from Get Saucy TE and Jaden Cole on YouTube. They both want to see a 1965 Chevy Nova SS drag build, and I think this is an absolutely dope idea. I don't even think that I have done a Nova yet in this game, so I think, I think the only thing left to do right now is jump up into this build. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, don't know how we are doing it, we upload one video a day. Right now, chances are with these bike builds that we've been doing or that we just did, probably going to be up in that to maybe 2 videos a day. Don't quote me on that though, ladies and gentlemen. These videos, as you guys can imagine, quite a lot of work to edit and everything like that. Almost like a full-time job, one might say. So yeah, definitely drop your request down in the comment section, anything you want to see. Like I say, today we are going to be doing a nice classic drag build. So let's start out. Buy up this car. I really like this blue color. I'm going to keep an OEM paint on this thing just for as long as I can. See how it goes. So let's get into it, man. We are rocking this classic. Now, there is no 65, so we had to go with the 66. Almost confident that it's pretty much the same body style. So let's just jump into the upgrade section, obviously, first and foremost, and get started with this build, man. Now, engine swaps, I think we're probably going to either go with the 6.2 liter V8 or we're going to have to leave the stock powertrain in here. And I think the 6.2 liter V8 is actually going to be a little bit better than what's in here for stock. Actually, to be honest, not even that much. You know what? Let's leave the stock powertrain on here, and we're going to see if we can make this thing just a little bit faster. Now, obviously, we're going to need a little bit of boost to accomplish that. So for a drag build, I'm thinking we're going to go with a supercharger. Now, you'll notice the torque curve there really just spikes with the twin turbos, whereas the supercharger is kind of nice gradual, which I like a little more. Tends to not spin the tires quite as much. Let's see, front bumper here. Now, this is going to be a drag build, so we can add this for the aerodynamics. As far as the rear end goes, I think we're going to leave the back end the way that it is. And I know we're going to have a couple options for some nice hoods here. Let's see. Ooh, that thing is looking badass right there. Really liking that. Let's see here. What do you guys think, man? The cowl, the big scoop, or the shaker? I think I'm going to go ahead and add up. Let's do the big scoop. Since this is going to be a drag build, basically straight line performance, I think that's going to be appropriate. And, we got a supercharger on here, so that's also going to be appropriate. Now, as far as the tire compound goes, we are definitely going to have a race tire compound on here. The front tire width can stay the way that it is, but since this is going to be a drag build, we're going to want to tub this out just a little bit, widen up those back tires. I think that's going to help quite a bit. Now, as far as the wheels go, let's just check this bad boy out here and see a few of our options. Now, this right here, the American Racing Outlaw, very nice for a drag build. Almost confident that's probably going to be the wheel that we go with. Just because, the rest of these wheels here, very streetish. The Kragers, kind of nice. Kind of like those as well, but I don't know. Something about those American Racings. And if you guys are familiar with drag cars, specifically older muscle cars, you'll know that American Racing, they're pretty authentic to the drag scheme that we're going with. So I think those are going to be absolutely perfect. Now, as far as the wheel diameter, I'm just going to see what these would look like bigger. Kind of goofy, I think. Like, at the very most, maybe a 16 at the front. Yeah, let's go ahead and do a 16 at the front, and we're going to leave the back at, I think, 14 here. So that's looking good. Very offset-ish kind of drag stance. Kind of liking the way that looks there. As far as the drivetrain goes, we are obviously going to upgrade that clutch since we are going to be slamming those gears. As far as the transmission goes, going to throw on a race transmission. Let's go ahead and do a race driveline and obviously throw in that differential just for, you know, mucho better launches. You know what I'm saying? Now, next up, I want to see the brakes get done. So we're just going to go ahead and install a nice set of brakes. Even though this is going to be for straight line mainly, still going to need to stop. I have a funny feeling. We are going to put on the race springs and dampers, but I'm going to adjust the suspension a little bit once we get into the tuning section. Anti-roll bars front and back, obviously. And let's do a little bit of weight reduction, and by a little bit I mean every bit of weight reduction we could possibly do. And since it's a drag car, throw in a roll cage. Now here comes the bread and the butter, is where we need to make this thing actually fast, because everything we've done here has really been just for stopping, turning, you know, anti-roll bars, tires, and things like that. Obviously, right off the bat, you guys know I need to do an intake and exhaust for my very first mods. As far as the supercharger goes, we're going to completely max this out. We're going to upgrade the intercooler. And I know everybody always says you don't need an intercooler for a supercharger, blah, blah, blah. You can put one on from my understanding. So we're just going to go ahead and install that flywheel. And let's see, we're pretty low on the power range. So what I think we're going to do is install some camshafts, bringing that red line to a very aggressive area. As you can see, like almost 8,000 RPMs. It's absolutely ridiculous, especially for an old V8 like this. Like, this thing will be blown to bits in no time if this were real life. Ignition, let's go ahead and take care of all that. Now, I don't think we're going to be able to get too much farther as far as the performance points, so I'm going to leave this the way that it is. Just to, people always ask me why I don't max out my builds. I don't know, just something about having a maxed out car just seems very generic to me. I like having a car, a few bolt-ons, tune it, you know, and make it competitive in its class, as opposed to just having every single car completely maxed out. I don't know, just not that fun to me. Now, I did say I was going to adjust the suspension, and that being said, I'm going to hike up the front just a bit and the back. We're going to give this kind of a rake look. Install that setup. Now, I think we have a few more things. The gearing actually not looking too bad. We could probably adjust this a little closer to the acceleration. Still not the greatest acceleration, but I think this thing is still going to be able to spin some tires, and that's the name of the game here. So let's see, differential, acceleration, all the way high, please and thank you. And I think that's pretty much it. Now let's jump into the designs and paints. I'm really a big fan of this dark blue. So nice, man. Honestly, probably one of the nicer stock colors I've seen on one of these older muscle cars. I kind of like the polished style of the wheels, so we're going to go ahead and leave those. I am, however, going to tin up those windows. Just give this thing a nice, sleek look to it. Now, I don't think this thing needs anything else, man. Look at how bad that looks. So nasty. Let's take this thing for a little bit of a rip, man. What do you guys say? So let's take her out on the street, see what this thing is all about. Now, the name of the game with this thing was to build a drag car. I think we pretty much accomplished it. Now, one thing that I would like to see is just that ass end hiked up just a little bit more. So let's go ahead and do that. Give it a... I really want to see this thing look raked right out, man. And when the back's hiked up like that, you know you mean business. So let's just take this thing out onto the strip. Oh man, those wheels are just absolutely perfect. Will it do a burnout? Yes, it will. Woo! Wow, man. This thing sounds absolutely amazing. Whoa. doesn't handle all that great. I think that's due to those super thin tires up front and the fact that it's raining. Will it drift? She's a bit heavy. She wants to slide wide, but man, that is a nice car. I'm very impressed with this thing. She hooks. Once you can get it to hook, I mean, obviously we're driving a purpose-built drag car in the rain, which is probably the worst case scenario that we could have, really. Thanks Forza for that one, by the way. But I mean, when it's straight in second gear, like, we're not gonna get crazy with the launch here. Once you hook up in first, all right, man, that was great. That was some quality content right there, eh, ladies and gentlemen? Just beauties. All right, let's get sorted out here. Bud, can you get that friggin' car out of the damn road? Jeez. Alrighty, so yeah, this guy's driving on the wrong side of the road. Like, oh, Lord help me. Okay, so once you get it hooked up in first gear, even despite the fact that we are in the rain, it actually isn't even that bad. Third gear, no wheel spin. And I have a funny feeling that if this was actually on the dry, recovery of a lifetime. Oh fuck! Oh no! Oh! Fuck! Yeah, just keep on rolling there. Yeah, yeah. Don't worry about the race or anything.